Well, hello and welcome to all of our Gold Learning family. I'm very pleased to be sitting down and chatting with Dr. Iftikher Mahmood today. Welcome to you, Iftikher. It's so great to have you here at Gold Learning. Me here today. I think this is such a great opportunity. Everyone can see, if you're looking on the screen right now, you can see what's going to be coming up here at Gold Midwifery. But I wanted to put Iftikher a little bit on the spot today and ask him a little bit about his life, because if you go online and read about his bio, you'll see that he has had quite the world travels, and as he continues to travel, I know it's taking him into Bangladesh, where he's done some incredible work. But first of all, I wanted to ask you a little bit about your life. I see that you were born in Bangladesh. Were you born and raised there, Iftikher?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Bangladesh. I went to, I'm from southern part of Bangladesh, a district called Cox's Bazar,
Yep.
Which is bordering with Myanmar. And then I went to medical school in a premier medical college in Bangladesh, Chittagong Medical College. Right after finishing, I moved to the U.S. primarily for higher education.
Sure.
Yes.
And so what was it like for you growing up there? Do you have siblings, your family? Did they all come to the U.S., or did you leave some behind there too?
No, I have family behind, but what happened is that because at that time when I went to medical school in 1981. That time, not many people went to medical school at that time from our area.
Right.
And I remember only maybe two we went to medical school.
Sure.
And because of the situation, that low number of doctors or people going to medical school, there was quite a bit of a shortage of medical care, which I observed when I was a young young boy, and I thought that if I become a doctor, I'll try to do something to change the medical landscape, at least in our area. So that was my sort of a dream even before I went to medical school.
Wow.
So when I went to medical school, I focused on that. How to take care of sort of like the people who are marginalized.
Yeah.
People who doesn't have means to get the care.
Yeah.
So that led me actually to come to the U.S. But yes, I have families. My parents who unfortunately passed away. But I have the brothers and sisters there, and I have some family members here as well.
Oh, right. Okay, so you're expanding and growing in both continents now, which is amazing.
I'm a world citizen.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Okay, I'm going to cycle back, and I want to hear more of this story. So before you even go to school, before you become a doctor, you're already thinking about changing the landscape, which is that's a pretty big picture type of thinking, which is amazing. I wanted to ask you really about mentorship, because as we're young children, often we do remember the people that inspired us, or what happened that this really was the focus. So who have been your mentors on this journey? Who inspired you to take you right across the world and put these things into place?
Well, actually, that would be my father, who was a civil servant, government employee. But our family come from an island.
Okay.
Of that district, which is kind of separated from the mainland, and inhabitants about, say, a few 100,000 people. So my parents came from there, and that time they didn't have any doctors in that island. So my dad used to tell me all the time, say, if you become a doctor, which we like you to be, if you become a doctor, make sure that you come back here and help the people, give them the health services and try to help the community that we are from.
Right.
So that was he used to tell me all the time. So I had that ingrained in my mind for a very long time.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think he knew what he was doing. That's the sense I get, you know. He probably just kept saying, "You've got to do this. You got to come back. You got
Yes.
to come back," which is awesome. So I imagine now, so you've moved yourself over to the United States, you're in school, you're starting to establish yourself in the US, but now you're looking at going backwards. Now, this is not, I'm sure it has not been an easy journey. I mean, I'm sure that there have been many things that, you know, I mean, I know you're very proud of what has happened there. I can see the amazing things you've done, but I'm sure it hasn't been easy the whole time, right, Iftikher?
No, it was not easy, but what happened is that I knew that I had to do it,
Right.
and I prepared myself. I was prepared, even if I was not prepared, but it was kind of a calling. So sometimes it's not a choice that you make, in life. It's in your mind, it's in your dream, it's in your that's you.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like I went with the flow, but the of coming here, establish myself, getting the education, and then go back and starting the whole foundation in the area where I'm from. Uh, and if I look at it there are two ways. One, looking at what kind of difficulties did I have, and to do this, going through this for past 20 years that I established, and a lot,
Right.
a lot, because it needs a lot of like funding, a lot of
Yeah.
work with a lot of people, uh, going through the logistics, and for 20 years and building from scratch. It was definitely not easy, but the other side is the bright side, which is that because I always wanted it, so when I saw that it was progressing, even through the difficulties, it actually is so satisfying that I see that much more than my obstacles and difficulties.
Right.
So I didn't see many difficulties, but I saw more of, like, the success, more of, because more people I could serve, more women I could serve, or my team can serve, more women we can train to be midwives, and we see the impact of that in the long term. It is just tremendous that it doesn't even compare to difficulties that I had in my life. Actually, I'm one of the lucky ones, being going to medical school, coming to the U.S. and understand the system, and having a little bit comfortable life. My
Right.
kids, like, have a much better life than I did. So I only see the bright side. If you want, if that's the question that you're asking.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And just wanting to hear more about, you know, what really keeps you going in terms and what we're talking about for our listeners, you know, joining us is that you established a midwifery program, the Hope Hospital, 5 rural birth centers, 4 rural health centers, and more. I mean, there's so much more to this. Responded to the Rohingya you know, crisis with 9 primary care centers and will be and establishing the first standalone 75-bed fistula and maternity center in the country. So, I mean, these are big things, you know, and I mean, you just make me smile because you are really the person that says the glass is half full. It definitely isn't half empty. I mean, if you ever need inspiration, or if I need it, I think I'll call you, you know, to get that inspiration because that's what it really sounds from me.
Yeah, yeah. No, thank you so much for
Yeah,
the compliment.
it's amazing. So tell me, let's focus a little bit on our topic at hand here. This is the role of midwives in humanitarian crisis. Tell me what you're really looking forward to sharing with the audience.
Well, so the humanitarian crisis, first time I really understood the humanitarian crisis when this Rohingya crisis happened, over about a 2 months period, close to 1 million people crossed the river from Myanmar to come to our backyard in Cox's Bazar district, right where we have been working for past 19 years. So when we saw that in a small area, almost 1 million people, and they're all sick, they're tired, they're starving, they had to work miles and miles, and since we're there, we immediately got involved. So when we saw that, that is the first, like, major experience of my adult life, humanitarian crisis. So
Right.
when I saw, and our team was, we've been there for for quite a long time, and we have a hospital. And even about 5-6 years back, we started our midwifery program. So we have already had trained a good number of midwives, and as we focus on maternal health, mostly in our organization, so we focused on maternal health of the Rohingya crisis, and and midwives. We saw that midwives were in the forefront of this crisis actually, because there are so many thousands of pregnant women who actually had to walk, who were pregnant, who were sick. So these midwives, the young midwives that we have trained, we immediately got involved them in this crisis. We partnered with other like-minded organizations like UNFPA and some other organizations. In the US, there are organizations like Every Mother Count, Fistula Foundation, our partners from before. We involved as many as possible, Bangladesh Medical Associations in the North America, and many other organizations. And we immediately jumped into this and did 100% that we could do, and moved all the resources there. We gave them, we give them emergency obstetric care, which is, C-section. We train them. We train our midwives, bring other maternal health resources from around the country, and we actually went in the front line, and through the help of these midwives. So that's how I understand how these midwives evolved from some new graduate who didn't know much about what they have in their future. They just graduated from our 3 years program, and they have been looking for jobs and things like that. As you know, I told you that is a new program.
Yes.
And when these women, they went in there, I have seen from day one what kind of like the power they have, potential they have, as well as what kind of difficulties they have. So we work with them every day, and to help them to make sure that they do their best. And I have seen the best of them, and everybody has seen the best of them, and that actually helped the entire profession in Bangladesh, which is a new profession actually in Bangladesh, and the people understood the power of midwives. So I'm really happy that I'm able to talk about this today.
That's wonderful.
And what the process they went through in past 15 months, and how they matured, and what kind of leadership they're giving.
Well, that's wonderful. And I know for our listening audience, this is something that's at the forefront for many of us, working in healthcare, that around the world there continues to be, tremendous crisis. There is a need, there is a demand, but we need to put infrastructure into place within those countries. We can't just, pop in for a couple of weeks, as I have done, talking about myself, in terms of crisis. It's just a Band-Aid. We need that infrastructure where it's self-sustaining, which is part of what Dr. Mahmood has been doing as well. Thank you so much, Iftikher. This has just been wonderful insight. And some great things to come, I hear, as well, as you'll be presenting for us at our Gold Midwifery Conference this year. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much.
Well, as I mentioned, Dr. Mahmood is going to be speaking at an upcoming Gold Midwifery Conference, so do come and join us for that. You want to check it out at goldmidwifery.com, and it's available. You can go online and check out all the dates of all of the speakers that will be joining us. Our keynotes will be live on Monday, the 4th of February, so you can join us for that. That is free and open access. As you can see on your screen right now, there's the dates. February 4th is the opening keynote, so you can mark that on your calendar. And again, you can see all the information. Our 5th annual Gold Midwifery Conference. We're very excited about that here at our Gold family. Well, thank you again to Dr. Iftikher Mahmood for being with us here today, and we'll look forward to hearing you again live at our Gold Midwifery Conference. Bye-bye for now, everyone.